A few months back, I was able to give you guys a little sneak peek of a brand new drone that's coming. Today is the launch day of the Antigravity A1, and boy, is there more that I can tell you. There's definitely a lot that is gonna be difficult to describe about this experience. It is wild. Holy sh!
Okay, the Antigravity A1, I have it in studio. I've been flying it for about a month. We're gonna go over today everything new that I can now tell you about this drone. Today is the official launch date, and we'll touch on like who this drone is for, like what it's for. It's very different than a normal flying drone. It's shooting 360. It's basically a flying 360 camera, and we'll talk about the pros and the cons. Now, today is still a first look. This is sponsored by Antigravity. I got to work with them like back in May when they didn't even know what name the company was gonna be. I've been working with the company trying to give my feedback this whole time. With that said though, I am still gonna do pros and cons because my whole goal is always to just help you guys figure out like, is this thing for you? And should you buy it? Like, should you give them your money? And there's gonna be a million more things we could talk about today. I'm gonna touch on everything that really stood out to me. The first thing that let's talk about is the actual physical drone, because I didn't have one when I made my video last time. I got to go fly it a couple of times, and then I made my video here, and I didn't have it in my hand. See, there's a camera on the bottom and a camera on top, just like a 360 camera. Those two cameras are creating this 360 bubble and canceling out the drone. So you don't see props, you don't see anything in the shot. As you're in the goggles, like the weirdest feeling, the thing that I can't describe to you until you try it, is you feel like you're flying along, like you're using this thing like a little fighter pilot, and you feel like you're flying along in an invisible jet. Like you could just look around, I could be flying this way, but I could look this way, I could look backwards, I can look straight down or straight up. In the goggles, I am in this like virtual bubble flying through the sky. It's an absolute trip. And again, if you don't buy this thing, find someone that did buy it and go try it, because it's crazy. On here, we have landing gear to protect that downward camera. The landing gear, as you take off, it pulls up automatically, and then you fly, and then when you come down to land, the landing gear shoots out to protect that bottom lens. Now, I wouldn't say this is a con, but I would say that if you are flying this drone, I would highly recommend like a little, those like drone mats. Like you put a mat out so that as you're taking off, there's not like dirt getting all up in this bottom lens, because you do have a bottom lens right there. And as those props start up, they're shooting dirt right at that lens. I don't know. It hasn't been a problem for me, but I could imagine that being a problem, and maybe I don't know, damage the landing gear, damage the camera. But it is a sub 250 gram drone, so we are under the limit here where we have to have like bigger licenses. This is a tiny little drone. We've got a battery out the back, just kind of how we'd expect, a SD card and USB-C on the back here. We do have 30 gigabytes of internal storage on this drone. Only 20 of those are usable though. So if in a pinch, I would say, sure, there's internal storage on this drone, but I put a 512 card in there and I flew like crazy and I never changed the card. And then you're gonna notice on there also, we have these two little guys on the front there. Now that is a forward obstacle avoidance sensor. And they did do a bit of a marketing trick here where they do pitch this as 360 degrees horizontal obstacle avoidance. And the reason for that is that this drone will only ever fly forward. This is a weird thing to understand with this drone is, let's say I'm doing like deep track. We'll get to deep track in a minute here. I'm tracking myself and I am riding this way, and the drone, I want it to be off to the right and I want it to be like shooting this like sideways shot of me. Well, the drone is not flying like this, like a normal drone would. It's flying like this, so it is always flying straight, but the camera is looking this way. I mean, technically the camera is looking everywhere. It's always 360. It's a very weird concept to like wrap your mind around, and it took me a little while to kind of get it and understand how to fly in a way to create the shots that I wanted to create. Let's talk about the actual video quality coming out of this. 8K 360, so very similar to like my X5 that I shoot. 8K 360, and then when I reframe, it's going to be lower resolution depending on how much I zoom in or zoom out. 360 cameras, they're my favorite. I love 360 cameras, but is this like a cinematic drone? I don't think so. I think this is more of like a really cool FPV drone. You're gonna get some like really wild shots with this. The best tracking drone ever, because again, it can never lose you. Like if the drone is near your subject, you can always stay locked onto your subject. With a normal drone, if like there's times when I've had it tracking me and I can either outrun it or like kind of trick it and I get out of its view for just a second and it goes, oh, I lost him. With this guy, you never have that. So there's some huge pros to having a 360 drone, but also like, I don't think I'm gonna take this footage and cut it in with my big Sony cameras and fool you as much as I would with like a cinematic style drone. But for the video that is coming out of this 8K 360, it looks amazing when there's a lot of light. It doesn't have the low light capabilities of, like, let's say the X5. I guess we should just compare it a little bit. Insta360 incubated anti-gravity. So what this has that makes that low light footage look so good is an AI chip. This does not have an AI chip in there. So this guy is really gonna be like flying during the day, good light. Although, to be fair, I don't think you're supposed to fly at night anyways. So I guess that really doesn't matter. So that's the drone itself. That's some kind of how it flies. Let's look at like the rest of the kit real quick, and then we'll jump into how we fly it and how this guy works. First up is the goggles. The goggles are shockingly good. For a pair of FPV goggles, these are like really, really nice. They've got really good cushion up front. The eyes can adjust based on how wide your eyes are, and then we have these little twisty knobs on the bottom. You'll see in there, if you can see that little white dot moving back and forth, it's actually changing the focus of the lens based on how good or not good your eyes are. We do have a screen on the outside. This is like one of the kind of very unique features of the A1's goggles, is this side is a, let me turn it on, hang on. This is a weird one, look. Okay, so the battery is separate. The battery is like this, and the goggles are like this, kind of like the Apple Vision Pro. The battery is separate. But with these guys, they give you a lanyard so you can hang the battery around your neck, and then you've got the goggles. This, though, is the power button. For like the first 15, 20 minutes that I had this drone, this is volume up and volume down, and then on this side we have a home button. And I was pushing the heck out of those, trying to get the goggles to turn on, until I realized the power button, it's on the battery. So you press once and then you hold, and you'll see this side is a screen. And what's really trippy is that while you're flying, like where you're looking will be displayed on this screen. So anyone that's like outside watching you fly, they're not actually in the goggles, obviously, it's just you in the goggles, they can see what you see on this exterior screen. It's also really helpful for settings, will be displayed on this side, and then anytime I'm doing like an update, the status of the update is displayed on the outside, so I don't have to put my face in the goggles just to check on like one little setting here and there. We're not in flight right now though, so it's not gonna show you anything. The remote control. This is controversial, and I would say that I was on the other side of the controversy at first, and now I'm starting to come along. At first, when I first got this thing, I was like, oh no, a grip controller, like a motion grip controller. We had that on the Avata, and everyone that had that on the Avata was like, I just give me sticks. Like, we all know how to fly sticks, give me 2 sticks. So when the Avata went to 2 sticks, I pretty much haven't flown their grip controllers since. These guys did something a little different though. And I'll get to the 2 flight modes, but let me show you the controller first. So really nice grip controller style. It's got kind of that trigger style down there, nice buttons up top, and then a few more buttons on this side. Power button, this is our menu button right here, or how to get into our settings menu. Up top here, this is like look left, look right. This is like go up, like rate, fly up in altitude, fly down in altitude, record video, take a photo, and then air brake. If something's going wrong and you're like, oh my gosh, you just slam that air brake and the drone will just go in the air. On this side is the sport mode, normal mode, and cinema mode, and then C1 and C2, which you end up using a lot. Like C1, C2 are kind of the main buttons that you're using. You're also kind of reaching up and touching this button. It is weird though, because you're in the goggles. So you kind of have to memorize what's going on the controller, because something on screen will be like, hit C1 and select something. And you gotta be able to, like, with your eyes closed, or not closed, or in the goggles, you gotta be able to reach down and be like, I know where C1 is. Okay, here's the two flying modes.
Okay, let's talk about the two different flight modes, free motion and FPV. Free motion means that as the remote control twists, the drone looks right or looks left, but it can only look as far as my goggles vision is. So if I wanted to turn right, but I wanted to keep going, now I could look over there and now the drone can keep turning, but I have to keep looking and turning with the drone in order to make the drone do a 360. So that means that if I'm up here flying like this and I want to turn hard right, I physically have to turn. Like if I don't turn, my head can only go so far. I can only turn as far as I can look. So I do have to look around to be able to actually go left or go right. Again, the remote is saying go right, go left, but I have to look, and then wherever that dot is and I pull the trigger, I go to where that dot is. So if I look up, I can go way up, I can go straight up. If I go down, I can go straight down and way down. So it's very much kind of a linkage between the remote and the goggles. Both are very important. This also does mean, like, there you are. This also does mean, like, you could not sit on a bench while flying in this mode. You couldn't sit in a car. You could not be stationary because you physically have to turn your entire body and your head to be able to fly in this mode. The other mode is called FPV mode. And now I do not have to turn my body or turn my head. I could just sit in one spot. And as I twist the remote like this, look at this, I just turn the remote and the drone spins all the way around. So now if I go up here in sport mode, it's just me twisting the remote that turns it. So I can stay looking one direction and I am just going meow, meow. Beautiful, right through there, up top, and dive bomb. And I'm twisting the remote to cause the turn. So now, like, the headset, yes, I can still look around in any direction, but the flight mode doesn't depend on the headset. So I can just kind of sit here and watch, almost like on a screen, and just twist my wrist to create motion. So I'm just pulling the trigger to go straight and then twisting the controller to create that cool motion. Ooh, could I go between those trees? Don't kill the drone. Oh yeah, oh boy, oh, that was close. So both modes, really great to fly in. I think that the free motion mode is probably much more like the beginner mode. And then the FPV mode, ooh, go a little slower. I don't want to run in the back of my own head. The FPV mode is definitely like the more advanced and I think a little bit more precise way of flying. Like if I really want to get aggressive with my maneuvering, I think FPV mode all day. And when you're first getting going with this thing, when my wife flew it, when my niece flew it, anytime I hand the drone to someone else, I'm putting them in free motion mode because it is as simple as pull the trigger, look, turn, and go.
Once you move to FPV mode, I don't think you're going back. Like most people I think that I've talked to that have this so far have gone to FPV and then have not gone back to free motion. The times that you will though are for Sky Genie and Sky Path. Sky Genie, if you know other drones, quick shots. They're like these predefined things that you can do. Sky Genie is essentially quick shots.
All right, let me show you guys the Sky Genie modes or the quick shot modes. All I do is tap into my menu here. I see my big old menu, look over at Sky Genie, pull the trigger, and in here I can see all of my preset Sky Genie modes. So orbit, anti-gravity line, fly away, ascend, spiral ascent, and oval orbit, oh, and arc shot. So I can do all of these moves automatically. This is very beginner friendly. Let's just go into orbit. I'll click on start. And now over on the left-hand side here, you see C1, C2, press and hold to select subject. So C1 on my remote control. I look at my subject, press and draw the box around myself, and boom. Now I am the subject. It's got me locked on, I'm the subject, and it says tap C1 to start rather. So tap C1 on the remote, and now I'm not flying at all. It is gonna stay locked onto me as the subject, and it's gonna do a very cool orbit shot around me that again, in post, I can still change this. It's just filming 360, but this is the actual flight path that it's running that we're doing here. So I can go back in here. Let's do fly away real quick. Same thing, hit start. I'm already selected, so I should just have to hit C1, and it's going to do a flyaway. So as this flyaway happens, again, in my goggles, I'm just looking at myself, but in post, I could look any direction. I can tell it where to look because it's just recording the whole 360 world, and these Sky Genie modes are just allowing me to have these preset routes that it's gonna fly. With any drone, I always feel like spiral ascent is the best. Like it's the coolest shot, because not only does it orbit you, but it's orbiting you while going up, and that shot in post just looks really, really cool. Whoa, look, being in the goggles while that happens, that does make you a little dizzy. Woo, hello.
And then deep track, it does deep track really well. So deep track is a name that we're familiar with. And the drone can, same thing, lock onto a subject and then track it. And while it's flying, I can say, I want you behind the person, to one of the sides of the person, or in front of the person shooting backwards. Again, the drone will always be flying forwards as it's tracking something. So it's always going forwards, but the view is locked onto a subject to the side or behind it or in front of it.
All right, testing out deep track. That is the drone following me. The weird thing with deep track that you kind of don't really think of until you're in it is you can't really follow yourself very well because I'm doing the one wheeling and I'm trying to follow. So I can't be like in the goggles seeing where I'm going or like changing any parameters. You can pretty much select yourself, say follow that guy, and then I can take the goggles off maybe, I guess, and just trust that he's gonna follow me. It's doing a great job so far. We're going probably 12-ish miles per hour. 12-ish miles per hour. This thing has no problem. But I can like put it out to the side or put it in front of me. I can do a bunch of different things. I just can't do it while I'm riding because I can't put my face in the goggles. Normally you could just like look down at a screen and like change a parameter or like switch something and say, hey, now be on this side or now be on that side. But in order to do that, I physically have to stop completely and then I can do it. All right, I stopped. I told it to now be on my side, and you can see the drone is more off on the side. The really interesting thing though, again, is it is always flying straight. So even though the shot is looking sideways at me, the drone is always flying straight. Again, there's only front sensors, but even though it only has front sensors, they do consider it 360 obstacle avoidance because it's only ever flying straight. And if it's flying straight and there's sensors on the front, then it can never hit anything because those sensors are there. It's keeping up great. Again, probably like 12 miles an hour, still there. All right, I swapped the drone over to now it's on my side over here. And again, even though it's a side angle shot, the drone is always still flying straight. So the drone is just flying like straight on that way. But even though it's flying that way, the shot is staying locked onto me looking left. So it's able to stay locked onto me. Let's go into this bridge and see if it follows me under here. I think it's gonna do it. Oh yeah, check that out. Drone's following me under the bridge, getting a side angle shot. So all you have to do to swap the positions is just hold the C1 button, and then you can say like, be in front or be behind. But again, even if I put it in front of, let's do that. Let's put it in front of me. So sick. So now it is flying just straight line. I am behind it, but again, it can look behind it while flying that way. So it's always going to, the drone always flies in one direction, but it can look in all directions. The deep track, by the way, it's handling things great. At least up to about 12, 15 miles an hour is the fastest that I've tested it, and it stayed with me no problem. I think if we get up here, we will see a tree, and we'll see if it's actually, if the obstacle avoidance actually works. All right, coming up to our first tree. Let's see if it stops for the tree. Oh yeah, it's for sure on a collision course with this tree. Will it stop? Oh, it went under it. Oh, interesting. That was data. Instead of hitting the tree, it went under the tree. I thought it was just gonna stop. Let's see what it does. Oh, now it's gonna go between these trees. So it's seeing that there's trees, it moved kind of, now I'm going like straight, I'm going straight at the tree. Straight at the tree, what's it gonna do? What's it gonna do? Oh, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Ooh, came down nice and low. Going back up, nope, still a tree there. And back up. Oh, that was pretty good. That was like a solid challenge. It came down, stayed low, stayed to the right, and then popped back up as soon as it had a chance. Whoa, that bird almost got it.
And then last thing, in like the modes, there's something called Sky Path.
All right, I just set up a Sky Path route just with 4 points on there. I can check speed, smoothness. We can kind of make it a little more smooth from point to point. So it kind of eases into each point and then moves to the next one. And we'll say save and start, continue. And now, no controller in my hand, it is just gonna fly the route. Now there's all sorts of reasons you might wanna do this, whether maybe you're doing construction, you wanna do kind of a time lapse, maybe come back, fly the same route in winter that you did in fall. But again, right now, in my goggles, I can look anywhere. This is not a vision dependent thing. This is just the route that the drone is flying. So it's going to point 1, it's just arriving at point 1. There's point 1. It's smoothly settled in. It's smoothly coming out of it. Now it's going to point 2. It's speeding up a little bit. I can look at our pool. I can check out everything down here. And I could hand these goggles off to someone else. So maybe I want to set up like a flight path, give my goggles to someone else, and they can just sit there and watch. They don't need to know how to fly the drone or anything. I can just hand it over and they can just fly from point to point. And as they fly from point to point, they can look around as if they are a passenger in an invisible airplane. Guys, I'm telling you, look, where are you at? There you are. If you don't buy this thing, find someone that has it so you can try it. It's very similar to like the Apple Vision Pro, I feel like, where you gotta try this thing. Like the experience is wild.
That's it, guys. The Antigravity A1. Any questions that you have, throw them down below. I know there's like a million things I could talk about or go over with this drone, but we'll make more videos. Throw your questions down below. I will answer them in the comments, and we'll make more videos on this just wild drone. I'm telling you, when you're in here and you're like set like this, and you're in the FPV mode, and you're like, whoa, you feel like you're in this like VR world, even though you really are flying a drone in real life. Let me know your thoughts, comments down below, and I'll see you soon.
Oh, I can be a dragon. I'm riding a dragon. Oh, I can see it. Oh, I can see its wings. Hey, this dragon has feathers.